What's up, guys? I'm listening to music independently of the system right now. Here we go. We're going to beat the shit out of some guys. So, let's continue. Now I know my heart is a ghost town. Okay. I hate it when people invert shit. It just... Inverted piloting controls for planes, helicopters, shit like that, I'm fine with, but inverting gameplay? Oh, fuck no. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Finally have your attention.
Let's fuck some shit up. As soon as we die. Falling into an abyss. I wasn't sure if they were actually going to revert to a proper vertical view. Oh my god, I hate shit like this. Oh, fuck you. Okay, you wanna play it like that? I'll play like that, you motherfuckers. Oh, okay. Yep, just fucking random grapple points. We gotta make use of those grapple points because otherwise nobody's ever gonna fucking use this ability. Fuckers. Fucking hate shit like that. I understand you need to make use of certain fucking abilities to traverse areas, but to traverse an area, I'll fucking do it, but don't force that shit. I hate that. It's every bit as fucking stupid as quick time events. I hate those too. Yep, third fucking grapple point right at the edge of the ledge. Fucking brilliant. Fucking stupid. Fuck that camera angle too. What the fuck? Okay. Motherfuckers. Okay, grapple, grapple, dash. Okay, I'll go at your fucking speed. Alright. Grapple, grapple, grapple. go. Be fucking happy. Oh, Raptor. Like Rapture. You know what? Fuck you guys. Sacrilegious sons of bitches. Skip. Skip. I don't give two fucking shits about the storyline, and this is garbage anyway. They're mixing 3 different fucking sacrilegious pieces of shit and making their little masterpiece out of it. And you know what? This is why the original Devil May Cry was fucking better to begin with. Because they weren't sitting there wondering about, oh, well, how are we going to make the storyline work? Because, honestly, the storyline was you playing the What the fuck? I should probably just change my fucking channel name and title, that little bar at the bottom of the fucking screen, to I fucking hate the storylines people are putting out nowadays. Because that's really what this boils down to. I'm fucking annoyed with how people change shit as severely as they do. I thought the fucking Devil May Cry team at least knew better than to change basic fucking things that they put in the original game for a fucking prequel. Skip. I don't give 2 shits. Fuck you. Okay, instant death. Cool. I love that shit. If you've watched me playing fucking Evil Within, you'll know I love that shit. Yeah, fucking wonderful. Oh, wonderful. We're going fucking Tron on this now. What the fuck? Come on, hurry the fuck up. Yep, you can't dodge through that shit though, no matter how fucking perfect your timing is. What, am I supposed to just go fucking double trigger? Is that the only way to damage this guy? Or do I literally have to fucking wait until he's ready to be hit? Oh, okay. Okay, yep. It's bullshit like that. You gotta hit 3 fucking points to get him dead at the end. Wonderful. Fucking love shit like that. Yep. Beautiful. Fucking love shit like that. You know, I think Ego Raptor said it best on Newgrounds and YouTube with Sequelitis, Zelda in particular. There's difficulty in there, and there is perceived difficulty. This is perceived difficulty. You have to hit these little active points to make the boss weak to your attacks. And then, and only then, is he vulnerable to damage. It doesn't really make it more difficult of a fight, it just makes it take more time. I fucking hate shit like that. Pisses me off. It has since I was a kid, and it still pisses me off. because it's not difficult. It's just fucking memorizing patterns. Yep, you can't even dodge through that shit. Wonderful. Here we go. Let's fuck him up. Yep. Yeah, he's vulnerable to damage now. Do I have to see that every fucking time? Oh, and look, it's all the way on the other side of the platform. You know what? Fuck the fists. They're obviously less powerful than the axe. Who gives two fucking shits? Oh, and look. Just because I'm fucking locked onto him right now, my attack is going to fucking miss this little platform 5 fucking times. I mean, you can fucking see this. I'm hitting it. I'm fucking landing on it. Demon mode engaged. Otherwise it wouldn't be letting out this red fucking aura and a red fucking attack. And yet, does it break? Fuck no. You can't be locked down when you're doing that. That's just fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Hate shit like this. You know, the first Devil May Cry was fucking brilliant for multiple reasons. One of which, it didn't follow these bullshit fucking tropes. Look at this. I'm fucking hitting it. But you can't be locked on when you do it either. Oh, look at this. It's not even taking any fucking connection damage here. Wonderful. Oh look, I'm still fucking hitting it. Demon element, like I'm fucking supposed to. And it's not breaking. Which also means that they don't bother to let you know that you have to wait for a certain period of time before you can fucking hit it again. Remember? That little bullshit point. That's right, and you gotta hit it with a fist because it's a demon crystal. So, you can't just have fucking demon mode engaged. Again, annoying bullshit. So yeah, stupid, annoying bullshit that just drags out the fight rather than makes it actually difficult. You remember how fucking difficult the spider was in the original Devil May Cry? That shit was hard. Not because of bullshit mechanics like this, but because you had to figure out the pattern, learn it, memorize it, and know what the enemy's tells were, much like Monster Hunter, actually. Yep, But no, it's shit like this that just pisses me off. I can't stand bullshit mechanics. Mostly because I would never put them in a game myself. And yes, I am working on a game. So don't sit there and go, oh well, it's just general mechanics that any good program will put in their game. Because no, a good programmer wouldn't put this shit in their game. It's an illusion of difficulty. It doesn't actually make things more difficult. It doesn't make them more entertaining. It's just annoying for whoever's playing the game. Once you know the pattern, yeah, it's fucking easy to take a boss down.
Segue into this!
But it doesn't matter.
Now what we have here is some truly shocking footage of the terrorists.
Oh, and look, I'm still locked onto the boss, even though I'm not anywhere near that room.
So what do we know about this guy? Several people have now come forward and investigated.
So you gotta manually lock off of the boss.
History of violence. At age 8,
even though you're not still in that room.
She was described as a sweet old lady who particularly enjoyed working with children.
You still have to manually lock off the boss in order to fight all these little fuckers right here. And don't get me wrong, this is a nice angle. It's interesting to see how they're portraying Dante through social media, public media.
He became involved in gangs.
But at the same time, it's annoying the fact that you remain locked onto the boss, regardless of where you are in the game and whether they ported you out of that room.
In the seedier districts of the city, rampantly spreading sexual disease of the unholy kind.
But seriously, you guys couldn't even make it differentiate between this boss room right here and that? This is the fucking 10th generation of video games, okay? It's a load of shit. And now I gotta lock back onto the fucking boss to fight him. And you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna use an item for the first time in this playthrough. And once again, you gotta go to the gauntlet to do that. So every time you attack the boss, if you switch back to the axe for power to get some heavy damage in like you should be, you gotta switch back every fucking time. And that's the only time you can dodge this little visual screen attack, is when you're going through the beams. I fucking hate shit like this. Again, it just drags out a battle. Oh look, I gotta go into his eye again and see what he's seeing and see what he's showing the world. And look at that, I'm still locked onto the boss. See that? Does that look like I'm attacking anything in this fucking stage? Yeah.
Definitely had pedophile eyes. I saw one girl, like, beg for her life. But, like, he said he was gonna kill her anyway. And then he did. Like, totally.
Since that horrific attack, it has come to light that Dante is involved in the terrorist organization called The Order.
Yep.
I have a message for The Order.
Game mechanics at their best.
The whole world is
21st
looking for
fucking
you.
century.
Every cabin, on every street corner, every police force in the country and worldwide. But we will find you. We will destroy you. It's only a matter of time. This is Bob Barbas of the Raptor News Network. Just doing God's work.
Yep, can't differentiate between the boss room and the actual fucking room you're in. So yeah, it's just fucking brilliant. Amazing programming. Good job, guys. You've come fucking leaps and strides since DMC 1. Skip. I don't give two fucking shits. Oh, and that's right, you got locked back on the bus because you know, you gotta unlock on the boss in order to fight all the little guys. They're gonna have fucked up attacks. And once again, only time you can't dodge through that shit is during that little sequence right there. But that would be, it'd be really fucking easy, allowing people to rely on their skill rather than bullshit mechanics. You know, why let people rely on skill rather than bullshit game mechanics when you can just have it fuck up like that? And yes, I was saving Double Trigger simply for the end of the boss fight because it's fucking annoying. Because one of the glitches in that boss fight right there is when you get down to that last leg, when you can actually kill him, it'll actually glitch out and you'll do no fucking damage. And yes, that glitch has been there since the game was released. They never patched it. Fucking amazing, isn't it? I'm sorry if I sound angry right now. I'm just pissed off at other shit. It's not really directed towards the game, short of bullshit mechanics. But, you know, shit like that's always pissed me off. That's one of the reasons I've got a mod box. It's got all the games, all the cartridges that I own personally. Like Chrono Trigger, Soul Blazer. Soul Blazer, honestly, is my top game, period. It's from the SNES. I believe it was released in 94, 95. Brilliant RPG. Extremely tight control. There are, as far as I'm concerned, no game-breaking glitches unless you're really dead set on messing with shit. But Soul Blazer, honestly, my #1 game. Just because it's the last classic game that I was literally obsessed with. It was brilliant, great writing, tight control for the time, some really interesting story sequences, and in order to become overpowered in that game, you had to fucking work at it. I'm talking hours of grinding and looking for very specific items hidden very well throughout the game in order to become so overpowered there's literally nothing that could kill you in the game. But Soul Blazer, if you've never heard of it, exactly as it sounds, Soul Blazer. It's just... Yeah, I know how to fucking switch weapons. You couldn't give me this tutorial when I got the gloves, the Ifrit style weapons, or Ifrit, as I've commonly heard them called. Oh look, he throws them. Oh, you can charge it, cool. Wonderful. But Soul Blazer, brilliant game. Well done, very well balanced. Unless you are dead set on making it as easy as possible. It's relatively challenging unless you know exactly where you're going, exactly what you're doing. Brilliant mechanics. Amazing classic game. Honestly, once again, Soul Blazer, my #1 game. That is one game I can play any day, all day. That's why I don't play it often, is because if I started playing it right now, I'd be playing it until it's done. It's that good. It's literally that good. And I'm still wondering right now why I don't have the fucking shotgun. Because, I don't know, I just love shotguns to begin with. I just love shotguns. The fuck. That's one of the other issues with new age games, is you have enemies that are invulnerable to everything but a single weapon type. And honestly, shit like that pisses me off. For obvious reasons. And then you got shit like this that's an automatic AoE. Literally, any small enemies in the game that aren't invulnerable to angel weapons, you can just fucking put this on, the blades, tap, and book.
They're breaking in from limo too.
And then you got shit like that too. It's not interesting, it's not creative, it's not cool. It's fucking annoying. And I'm sorry if I'm not going for 100% on this, but honestly, I'm really just playing it to see if it ever gets any fucking better.
Where are you?
Which it hasn't really so far. But, I mean, it's not bad. It's not horrible. It's not wretched. There's a lot of games I could use those terms for.
Just keeping them out.
Oh, excuse me.
Here, saw boy.
It's just far from being a perfected piece of video game technology. I could literally mash fucking buttons at random and receive the same results I'm getting right now. Or better, actually. And that's another thing that pisses me off right there. You remember how certain enemies, the ones with the shield in particular, you can make yourself invulnerable to their abilities, specifically that ground burn deal, by equipping the demon style weapon? Doesn't work in this one. No. Honestly, based on the simple fact that they obviously went for a Polaris, or no, I'm sorry, Ikaruga style gameplay with polarity. You know, Ikaruga, if you've never played it, basically it's a game entirely based upon polarity, where you go to a positive polarity and you absorb blue bullets or white bullets, depending on which color you're most fixated upon. And you go to a negative polarity and you absorb red bullets. That's easily what they were going for with this shit, but they fucking messed it up. Because they couldn't even get that much right. Even fucking dodging doesn't work. But, you know, bottom line,
Over here, Sawboy.
shit like that needs to be finely tuned and very clearly defined, which it is not in this game. In Ikaruga, or Ikaruga, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it was very clearly defined. If you had proper polarity, you would essentially pass through or absorb certain types of fire. Another thing that really pisses me off about this is you can't dodge cancel through certain attacks, which you should be able to based on the combat style. And look at this. He's got a single weak point. Even the original fucking Devil May Cry, as hard as that was, didn't pull that kind of shit. Again, perceived difficulty. You have to take your time with certain enemies to a certain extent in order to kill them. Perceived difficulty. I'm not kidding. Just go fucking look up Ego Raptor, exactly like it sounds, Ego Raptor, on YouTube, Newgrounds, whatever the fuck you want to, and put sequel in your search. Specifically Zelda sequelitis, and he explains it 10 times better than I ever could. But honestly, I agree with him 100% because it's bullshit. It's perceived difficulty rather than actual difficulty. It's not based on your skill, and instead is based on bullshit mechanics like locking on, enemies blocking, dodging, etc. And I'm fine with enemies blocking until it becomes a pain in the ass like this, where you can only hit an enemy in a certain sweet point, not a boss, just an enemy. And apparently he self-destructed, go figure. Oh, and look. they're bringing back the attacks from the original Devil May Cry, renaming for a weapon.
Hey, over here, saw
Round Trip. Round Trip was an attack in the original Devil May Cry where you threw Alistair, the lightning sword. And it did a continuous attack. It was also seeking, unlike in this game. It just locks onto the first thing it hits, which is, again, annoying as fuck. You know, fuck it. This game uses cheat tactics, so am I. But no. It's like music over the years. Lyrical ability, writing has become better over the years. Or no, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Other way around. Writing has become less important for music over the years, and the beat or actual musical tones have become more important than the music itself over the years. So we got shit like dubstep. And I wasn't even pushing the left stick, so that again is a fucked up mechanic. But it's shit like this that's brought the gaming age from let's get the best quality product we can, short LJN, you know, laughing, joking, numbnuts. Everybody at this point is probably familiar with the Angry Video Game Nerd. And he's right, there are a lot of shitty SNES and NES, Genesis, etc. games out there. But bottom line is, in that particular day and age, programmers were more concerned with how to make players want to play their shitty games, which was most often the case, for an extended period of time. And you know what? They succeeded for the most part. That's half the problem. Oh, and look at that, I'm dead again. One fucking tackle.
Hey, over here, saw boy.
Again, bullshit mechanics equal a game that is longer, but not necessarily more difficult. The original Devil May Cry was 10 times as hard as this piece of shit is, but it was for reasons that made 10 times as much sense. You know, in the original Devil May Cry, I remember dying a million times to the first bosses and, well, pretty much every boss, including regular enemies, because it was a matter of learning their patterns, learning how they move, and they didn't get these bullshit invincibility frames and armor. I mean, look at this. I can hit him in one spot. How much sense does that make?
Hey, over here,
I'm fucking Dante, okay? Who is now apparently half angel, half demon, instead of just half demon. Again, makes a lot of fucking sense, doesn't it? Look at this. Even when you're using the proper type of weapon, it still bounces. So you know what? Fuck it. Cheat tactics. The game resorts to shitty programming, so why not resort to cheat tactics? Oh look, he's dead. And that's what I'm talking about. Cheap tactics. Rather than having something that actually entails learning an enemy, learning their pattern, and really getting good at the game, you can just do shit like this. See that? That's what I'm getting at here. Same with this guy. You charge up your attack, you wait for him to turn, you hit him, you dodge once in a blue moon. Oh, and look, I just went double trigger mode. Instant kill. Wow. This is what I'm getting at right here. Now, anybody watching the stream will also just seen how much trouble that gave me right up until I did that. You think that's difficulty? You think that's challenging? Fuck no. I could have done that 3 times over. But what point would that have made? Honestly, I guess it doesn't really make any point considering it's a fucking video game. But, you know, I really wish I had the capability to stream the original Devil May Cry right now alongside of this. Graphically, yeah, it's not quite as impressive, I guess. Although this isn't really that impressive graphically compared to a lot of shit that was released in the same year, much less the same month. But, you know, graphics don't make the game. Gameplay does. You can play a game with the shittiest graphics in the world, but if it's got gameplay that's out of this world, who gives 2 shits about the graphics? If the gameplay is good enough to hook you. That was half the draw of the original Devil May Cry. Was the gameplay was tight, it was hard, it was challenging. And this, it's just a matter of finding out which attack is going to do the most damage in the shortest amount of time. You can't save us, fuck you. Like this. Small enemies, whoop-de-doo. You've got an AoE built in. Oh, and look at that, you can dodge the explosions. So hard. So challenging. And honestly, the only reason, the only reason it looks Like I'm sucking at this. Honestly, I don't really give a shit. I mean, it's that bad. As far as challenge and difficulty goes, I know if I just fucking mash buttons, I'll do every bit as well as somebody who's actually trying. That's the sad part. I'm fucking drunk right now, to be completely honest with you. If my drunk, sorry ass can beat this game and beat these guys this fucking easily, there's a problem with the DMC team. Because it's just that bad. This is, what's up, B? This is literally the hardest difficulty you can select right off of the bat. And honestly, after that, it doesn't matter. Because when you go to a harder difficulty, you keep all of your fucking upgrades. So honestly, yes, there are harder difficulties that you can select, but they don't really make much of a difference considering by that point it doesn't matter. You've got max health, you've got max double trigger.
No,
and technically one of the hardest difficulties is Hell or Hell. There's Heaven or Hell mode and there's Hell or Hell mode. Heaven or Hell makes it so that both you and enemies die in a single hit. Hell or Hell mode makes it so that you die in one hit but enemies don't. But ultimately, by the point at which you've unlocked Hell or Hell mode, which requires beating another difficulty level after this, which I'll probably get into just for shits and giggles. By the time you beat that, you're going to know enemy patterns so well that it's not really going to matter, because if you take a hit, you're not paying attention anyway. So, yes, there is a harder difficulty, but it's not going to matter by the time you get to it. Just because at that point you're going to know enemy patterns to a point at which you could probably beat the game blindfolded. Just based on sound. I mean, I'm not kidding either. I mean, it's literally that repetitive. If you know the game through and through and you know exactly what appears in each room, it's not really gonna matter. Dude, the enemy count doesn't even matter in this game. Honestly, you'd be better off overall. The only reason I'm sucking so much at this right now is because I don't give two shits. It's that bad. The storyline is garbage. They're mixing 3 different mythos to make the storyline, and it doesn't even fit with those original myths. So honestly, man, you'd be better off pulling out an old dusty PS2 and playing the original Devil May Cry than you would ever spending money on this. To be completely honest, I regret ever buying this. That's how bad it is. And I know there's a lot of people that are obsessed with the game, obsessed with the series, far more than I am. But the original game was far better. It was far more challenging. And honestly, Devil May Cry 2 and 3, even 4, were better than this. I enjoyed 2, 3, and 4. Not as much as the first game. Maybe. But I enjoyed those far more than I've enjoyed this. I mean, look at this. You can buy upgrades. and turn them right back in. What kind of permanence is that? Even the third game. Oh, there you go. Devil May Cry 3 was best. You know, I'd agree with that to a degree. I love Devil May Cry 3. I liked it far more than the second game and the fourth. But honestly, from a purist standpoint and a difficulty standpoint, Devil May Cry 3 was great. But Devil May Cry 1, the original game on the PS2, that was my friggin' cup of tea, man. I agree, Devil May Cry 3 was very good. There is no question about that. I love that game. I'll pull it out any day and play it. It was good. Very good. But, oh my god, this game, Devil May Cry, they had to take the original title, the original game, turn it into a prequel, and destroy it like they have with this game. Oh, look at this. Look at this fucking ability. Aerial buy-in. You pull an enemy up into the air. What good is that? If you're doing an aerial attack already, that enemy is gonna be in the air, man. It's just, oh my gosh. The abilities aren't even, excuse me. The abilities aren't even worth getting because, I mean, look at this. You can just turn all this shit back off. What's the point? It's just, there's no permanence in the decisions you make for the upgrades in this. And honestly, any given upgrade isn't really that good. Devil May Cry 3, at the least. You know, that was technically the first game, if I recall correctly, to allow you to play as Virgil, who was badass. Oh my god. I was dying to play as Virgil after the first Devil May Cry just because he was that Dark Knight. Odin or Gabriel. I don't remember what they called him in the first Devil May Cry. It's been a long time since I really played it, but oh my god, dude. The original Devil May Cry is what set the standard here. Devil May Cry 2 fell short on too many levels. It was too easy, and Devil May Cry 3 brought it closer to the original than the second one did, and it got rid of the extra character who was never related to the Devil May Cry series before then. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there should not be any female characters playable. I mean, hell, the original Devil May Cry, at least in remastered versions, you could play as Trish, who was a female character, a female hero. I enjoyed that. She was cool, and it was a fuck ton of fun unlocking her. But that girl in Devil May Cry 2 turned into a fucking chicken when you made her go angel mode. But, you know, Devil May Cry 1, Virgil as the Dark Knight was badass enough. Once you got to Devil May Cry 3, and you unlocked Virgil as a playable character, he was fucking awesome. He was every bit as badass as Dante, if not more so. And he had a katana. I'm sorry, I am a sucker for katanas. I love the look, I love the feel. I own katanas myself. I love katanas. So having fucking Virgil run around with a katana doing that crazy friggin' space warping shit with his attacks, that tickled me pink. You know? Dante, badass. Virgil, twice as badass overall. And then they come around with this game trying to revive the series. Dante turns into some annoying fucking teenager. Virgil starts spouting some random bullshit. It's just, it's like they took Devil May Cry, one of the best hardcore games ever, one of the most difficult games ever, made it easy as shit, and just decided, you know what, fuck it. We're gonna make everything easy. You know what, mash buttons, you'll be fine. Doesn't matter. You know what, I'm just gonna fucking upgrade all this shit. There we go. Yeah, this plays off it perfectly. Yeah, I mean, seriously, man, he was like the ultimate samurai. He was a demon samurai. And that's one of the things that pisses me off about the new games. Specifically this one. The original Devil May Cry. They explained it. He was half demon. His mother was human in Devil May Cry 2. I think they made mention to it in Devil May Cry 3. I honestly don't remember. But never was there mention made of their mother being angelic. I mean, that just kind of pisses me off right there. They were half demon. Period. That was it. They were half fucking demon. Sparta was a badass that took hell by force. He was cool. He had a badass design, and that's what Virgil's original design in Devil May Cry 1 was. He was based off of the figure of Sparta shown in the opening sequence, which was cool. And honestly, I was fine with him taking that human form and all that armor being removed after the first game, because Dante beats him, the armor dissolves, and I'm fine with that. That is perfectly fine with me. I loved having Virgil as a playable character. I loved unlocking the Dark Knight as a playable character in a remake of Devil May Cry 1. I loved that. That made my day when they released that version. I played it to completion. Now, then they released Devil May Cry 2. And Devil May Cry 2 crushed my hopes and dreams for a good Devil May Cry sequel. The first game was hard. It was beyond difficult the first time you played it. After you knew how to beat certain enemies, it was great. But because of that sequel, Devil May Cry 2, my hopes and dreams were shattered for a good Devil May Cry game. Then they take Devil May Cry 3, they turn it into a prequel like this, but Devil May Cry 3 was utter garbage as far as the storyline goes. The gameplay was good. It was closer to the original storyline and events than Devil May Cry 2. That's a given. Devil May Cry 2 was too fucking easy. They brought back the original storyline, and they brought back the difficulty with Devil May Cry 3, which was brilliant. And then Devil May Cry 4, I discount that game as a Devil May Cry game because it was too fucking easy. I mean, I enjoyed it to a degree. I own it on Xbox 360. I've got an old 360 sitting in the living room right now. I've got it on there. I play it from time to time to remind myself how shitty it is, all things considered. But they bring in this third party who is amazingly partially demon, just like Dante and Virgil, and he's got that demon fist that can grab shit, and you know, that's cool and all, but nobody gives two fucks about that character. They want Dante and Virgil, and that's all I fucking want, because they were the original characters, and they're the brothers. And then they release this game, DMC. I mean, Yeah, I agree right there, man. Nero, he was obviously a Dante clone. Anybody with eyes can tell that, man, and you're dead right there. He was a clone. Period. And, oh, he's got a cursed arm. Bullshit. Don't give me that. You know, and then they take this game, and suddenly Dante is also half angel. So initially he started out as half human, half demon. Sparta was fighting the lords of hell to free the humans from their tyranny and restore order and balance. Then it goes to Devil May Cry 2, and oh look, angels are now in the mix as well. And Dante is now the son of an angel and a demon. No, fuck you. Okay? Devil May Cry 1 set up the storyline. Devil May Cry 2 fucked with it. Devil May Cry 3 brought it back to the original storyline. This game threw it right back into Devil May Cry 2 territory. Because now Dante is once again half human. Or no, he's not even half human. He's fucking 1/3 human, 1/3 angel, and 1/3 demon. Yeah, no kidding, man. That game was half finished on release. And honestly, as far as I can tell, so is this. They clearly did not pay attention to the original storyline on Devil May Cry 2 or DMC, which is what I'm running right now. Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 3 held true to the original storylines, at least to enough of a degree that the storyline was not messed with. And honestly, Devil May Cry 1 and 3 were the only ones that held to the tight controls that made Devil May Cry such a great game as far as difficulty was concerned. This game, as well as Devil May Cry 2 and 4, threw tight controls out the window. Like, when I played Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 4, I was focused on playing heavily on strategy and technique, just like the first game. When Devil May Cry 3 came out, again, focused heavily on strategy. Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 4, as well as this, fucking button mashers. That's all it is. You can mash buttons and hold triggers, and you get the same damn effect. Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 3. Brilliant. Well executed and difficult as hell if you don't know what you're doing. I could go through Devil May Cry 1 right now. Oh dude, don't get me started on Bayonetta. Holy shit. That was you know what? Bayonetta was closer to a fucking sequel to Devil May Cry than Devil May Cry 2 and 4 were. Much less this piece of shit. Don't get me started on Bayonetta, man. I'll go off on a rant on how much I love those games. They were closer in difficulty and play style than Devil May Cry 2 or this were ever in Devil May Cry. So, yeah, man. Bayonetta, I really do enjoy it. I've played Bayonetta as well as Bayonetta 2. Honestly, I felt like they got a couple things a little more accurate in Bayonetta 2 than in the first one, just because the first was more of an experiment to see if anybody was still interested in a Bayonetta, or a Devil May Cry style game. But Bayonetta, they had, oh lord, sorry, let me formulate my thoughts real quick. Bayonetta, at the very least, the original Bayonetta was made by the original Devil May Cry creator. It was the original team, essentially, minus 1 or 2 people. That's why Bayonetta was so tight. Oh my god. Yeah, there you go, man. And that's DMC as in the original team, man. when they said DMC for the Bayonetta team, that was the original Devil May Cry, not this new piece of shit. Although they had some of the same people working on this as the old games, as well as Bayonetta, but all the people involved were generally also involved, at the very least to some degree, with the original Devil May Cry. That's half the fun right there. Because they knew how the original Devil May Cry played, that's what they based the gameplay off of. Ooh, excuse me. But that's half the problem right there. Even with the original team, excuse me, they want to push the envelope, they want to try new things, but those new things don't always work. Now, this one, DMC, it's so far set apart from the original Devil May Cry, just like Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 4. It's just, it's too far from the original title to really be as good as it was. That was half the fun with Bayonetta. They had the right people working on Bayonetta. I enjoyed that game. Especially on the hardest difficulty settings, because at that point it felt like Devil May Cry, man. Like, no joke. I felt like I was playing the original Devil May Cry in a couple sequences, just because the controls were so tight, so responsive, and the difficulty wasn't based on bullshit mechanics so much as it was based on how much of the game have you learned, do you know when to use this, this, or this, and do you know how to properly chain abilities. If I had Bayonetta on this console right now, I'd be playing it. Like, no joke. Aside from the fact that I want to bitch about DMC, Definitive Edition, blah blah blah, I'd be playing Bayonetta just because it was the closest thing to the original Devil May Cry since Devil May Cry 3 I have played in years. And I may suck at a lot of games, but stuff like this, well, let me rephrase that. Stuff like Bayonetta and the original Devil May Cry, Guacamelee, things like that, where it just takes reaction time and you have to remember certain combos, things like that. Just general reaction time. I love games like that because those are the ones I'm good at, aside from general RPGs. I love games like that, period. But shit like this, where it's just a bullshit difficulty factor. Oh, well, enemies now have armor from these angles, and they've got invincibility frames that shouldn't be there. Shit like that pisses me off. Beyond reason. I don't know why. I've just always hated a bullshit difficulty factor, and I've always hated perceived difficulty, which amazes me because I love the original Zelda games. And Ego Raptor, that guy on YouTube I was talking about earlier in my stream, if you go watch his stuff on YouTube about sequelitis, specifically Zelda, he mentions it. And I can't argue with him because he's right. There is a difference between actual difficulty, i.e., or an example, sorry, Devil May Cry 1 and 3 versus Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 4, and DMC versus a perceived difficulty factor where enemies are just given invincibility frames or armor frames. An example, Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 4, and this piece of shit. He's right. Oh my god, dude, don't get me started on God Hand. Holy shit. I own that game. I don't know where it is at this point, but I've got it somewhere in a box or something like that with my old ass PS2. It's one of those big bastards, like the original PS2. God Hand, man. Oh my gosh. That game, a lot of people thought it had really clunky control. I never had that issue because I looked at it as pretty much the same idea as the original Devil May Cry. It may seem like it's got clunky controls and is overtly difficult, but holy shit, man. When you know how to play the game, Devil May Cry and God Hand are right in the same basket, dude. God Hand was one of my favorites, to say the least. I think what was one of the moves called? The Nutcracker, where he just like pops him in the nuts with his fist. I love that. I love anything that is reaction and skill based rather than button tapping bullshit like this game. Cause holy shit, dude, God Hand. There were so many attacks in that game where if you timed them properly and used them right, you just smashed guys in the nuts. I'm sorry. I just find that hilarious. I'm also one of those people that thinks fart jokes are funny. But smashing somebody in the nuts, I don't know why. It just makes me laugh. So not only did I enjoy God Hand, I was laughing the entire time I played it. Just because you're constantly, assuming you're playing the game using the proper combos, you're just constantly smashing guys in the nuts. And I'm sorry, I don't know why, but it's hilarious to smack guys in the nuts constantly. I don't know why. I really don't. I honestly don't know why I find it as funny as I do. But smashing guys in the nuts in God Hand was one of my favorite things. I don't know why. I really don't. Probably because I had 3 older brothers and we played, games like, stupid, dumbass games like 2 for flinching. You fake punch at somebody, in this case your brother, and if they flinch, you give them 2 bops in the shoulder. Stuff like that. 2 for flinching. Slug bug, all that shit. Okay, Castlevania. Again, if I could stream that right now, which I could if I had my tower, I don't. I'd stream it. Everybody always says that the corridor leading up to death is the hardest part in the game. I get through that every time without taking a single hit. It took me since I was 4 years old up to now, which is 21 years of time, to realize I can stun lock that son of a bitch with holy water. I never realized that when I was a kid. After I found that out as an adult, I was sitting there going, oh my god, I wasted 10 years of my life trying to figure out the best way to beat death when I could literally take holy water into the fight, start tossing it as soon as he appears, and he never gets to move. I love finding shit like that out. I love it. But if I could stream Castlevania right now, I would. And right now, I really mean the original Castlevania, Castlevania 1 on the NES. As soon as I got access to a tower again, I'm probably going to start streaming some stuff like that, just because. I'm very old school when it comes down to it. But, yeah, man, friggin' Castlevania. That's a game that's fluctuated over time, just like Devil May Cry. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Metroid-style Castlevanias, where you can go level up, grab abilities, stuff like that, but the original Castlevanias are honestly where it's at for me. Excuse me. Mostly because... Excuse me. Oof. mostly because they had such distinct difficulty. And at Symphony of the Night, I cannot criticize that game. It was the first Metroid-style Castlevania game. I loved it. First time I played it was over at a friend's house. His name was Luke. I went over to his house one day. We were playing one of the PlayStation 1 collections for Castlevania, because he just got it. He was obsessed with Castlevania. We put that bastard in, and we were there for 7 hours straight. You know, I mean, my parents are calling up to see what's up, to see why the hell I haven't, you know, let them know where I'm at or come home, and ended up letting me stay the night. We beat the game that night, and oh my god, dude. Symphony of the Night, I have a very soft spot in my heart for that game, just because it was one of the first Metroid, technically it was the first Metroid-style Castlevania game. And it was just so enjoyable. And Alucard was so badass. Even after Death takes all his shit away. I love that game. It was just... that one will always hold a special spot. I will gladly play that game any day. And honestly, if I had the extra cash right now, I'd be playing that for my streams, just because I love that game, man. I'd be doing 100% speedrun on that thing right now. That's how many times I played it. I could get 100% on that thing in under 4 hours. It was just, oh my god, that game. Alright, man. If you want to catch any of my other streams or just like chat, man, hit me up and go ahead and give me a follow if you want, man. Always appreciated. Always appreciate follows. But good talk, man. I'll catch you later. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. And guys, with that, I'm going to take a short break here, mostly because I'm so fucking drunk right now, I can't see straight, and I'll probably still beat this game very soon, just because it's a button masher. Thanks, man. You too. So I'll probably beat this game pretty soon, drunk or not, just because it's so damn easy. But yeah, I'll come back in a little bit, and as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.